Για την ακρίβεια, 1 στους 4 έχει δεκαπλάσιες πιθανότητες να εμφανίσει ψυχώσεις αν ήταν συχνός καπνιστής κάνναβη στα νιάτα του.
Well, Robin, I've got the test result here. I don't know the result, so let me just have a look. Well, that is unintelligible to me.
Well, this actually shows you that you would be one of those individuals who are relatively unlikely to go on to develop psychosis.
Μια γονιδιακή βελτίωση όμως δεν παρέχει εγγυήσεις. Τα γονίδια που ρυθμίζουν την ντοπαμίνη στον εγκέφαλο είναι ένας μόνο από τους παράγοντες που ενισχύουν την εμφάνιση ψυχωτικών ασθενειών. Ένας άλλος παράγοντας είναι η ηλικία.
What about adult cannabis smokers?
I think the evidence is that the risk for adults of developing psychosis is not so great. In fact, you're actually getting through the major risk ages for developing schizophrenia because it's a disorder of those between adolescence and about 30.
Ο καθηγητής Μάρεϊ και άλλοι επιστήμονες έκαναν πληθυσμιακές έρευνες για να δείξουν πως η συχνή χρήση κάνναβη στους νέους αυξάνει τις πιθανότητες εμφάνισης ψυχώσεων. Αυτό που δεν απέδειξαν είναι πως η κάνναβη προκαλεί ψυχώσεις. Κάτι τέτοιο θα απαιτούσε αποδείξεις πως η χρήση κάνναβης αλλάζει τον εγκέφαλο. Κάτι που πιστεύουν πως απέδειξαν κάποιοι επιστήμονες στη Σουηδία. Έδωσαν THC σε ενήλικα ποντίκια και βρήκαν μακροπρόθεσμες αλλαγές στους εγκεφάλους τους. Έδωσαν επίσης THC σε νεαρά ποντίκια και σε θηλυκά σε εγκυμοσύνη. Θέλανε να δούνε αν θα επηρέαζε τη συμπεριφορά τους. Οι ερευνητές δοκίμασαν κατά πόσο τα ποντίκια θα χρησιμοποιούσαν ένα λευγέ για να πάρουν μικρές δόσεις ηρωίνης.
We saw that animals that were exposed during development took more heroin as adults. They were also more sensitive to stress in that they took more heroin when they got just even very mild stress, and they were sensitive to even lower concentrations of heroin than normal animals that never got THC during development.
As if there was some kind of predisposition to take heroin, having been exposed to cannabis, to THC in their early lives.
Exactly. I would call it more of a risk. So they increase their risk factor, the vulnerability for taking more heroin due to the early exposure to THC.
Η καθηγήτρια Heard είναι επιστήμονας του εγκεφάλου με διεθνή φήμη. Το έργο της μπορεί να αναβιώσει μια παλιά διαφωνία σχετικά με την κάνναβη, το αν οι χρήστες της είναι πιο πιθανό να δοκιμάσουν άλλα ναρκωτικά. Οι επιπτώσεις του έργου της στο THC όμως είναι πολύ ευρύτερες. Παρατήρησε πραγματικές αλλαγές στους εγκεφάλους των ποντικιών, αλλαγές που έχει συναντήσει και σε ανθρώπινους εγκεφάλους που εκτέθηκαν στην κάνναβη.
So if we cut the brain in half and we will just look at one hemisphere.
Χρησιμοποιώντας τον εγκέφαλο ενός ενήλικα, μου έδειξε την περιοχή που άλλαξε.
We saw that, and in the rat models, we saw at an area that's called the nucleus accumbens, which is very highly associated with reward. It is considered part of the reward circuit, the central reward system in the brain. That is highly changed.
The brain has changed.
The brain has changed.
Αυτό που άλλαξε είναι το σύστημα της ντοπαμίνης, το σύστημα που μπορεί να παρέχει το σύνδεσμο μεταξύ κάνναβης και ψυχώσεων.
If she finds long-lasting changes in these areas, that suggests that the cannabis has altered the dopamine system, and so that the individuals will be more sensitized the next time they encounter a drug like cannabis.
So this takes us towards a proof of what has been a hypothesis underlying your work, that cannabis does have long-term changes on the dopamine system.
Yes, and it's not so unusual for a drug to have long-lasting changes. We know that amphetamine or heroin or even alcohol can produce long-lasting changes in the neurochemistry of the brain. So this is really rather as one would have expected, but thank goodness somebody has.
Το έργο της καθηγήτριας Heard δεν έχει ακόμα εκδοθεί. Όπως όμως λέει η ίδια, επιβεβαιώνει το πόσο ευάλωτος είναι ο εγκέφαλος των νέων.
Absolutely, because the circuits, the synapses are not all formed as yet. So a drug has more ability to impact the final formation of the brain.
So if you start smoking at 12, the chances are you will not be the person you would have been had you not smoked cannabis.
Correct. Does it mean that you're a better or a worse person? No, but you are definitely a different person.
Είναι το επίμαχο συμπέρασμα. Μερικοί θα υποστηρίξουν πως δεν έχουν εξακριβωθεί οι επιπτώσεις της αλλαγής. Ο 16χρονος James έχει αναρρώσει στην κλινική ανηλίκων. Τα φάρμακα τον βοήθησαν να ελέγξει την ψύχωσή του.
I got better after a month and I went home for Christmas.
What did the doctors say to you?
Don't smoke dope ever again.
And what did you do?
I went out and smoked dope.
As I started to go upstairs, the music seemed to be getting louder and louder, and it was really very loud in here, and it was very haunting. Walking in here, James was talking to himself quite clearly, very, very confused again.
Psychotic.
Yeah, as I entered the room, I really couldn't believe that everything was going wrong again so soon.
I had this weird feeling swept over me, and all of a sudden I thought I was the lead singer of a band called Danny Filth, and I started like singing to it, and his vocals were like screaming and roaring.
Μπορεί να μην είναι σίγουρο πως η ασθένεια του James οφείλεται στην κάνναβη. Δεν υπάρχει όμως καμία αμφιβολία πως η κάνναβη προκαλεί υποτροπή σε ψυχασθενείς. Ο James μεταφέρθηκε πίσω στην κλινική.
I do feel like I lost him because this psychosis had taken over part of his personality. Just wasn't James anymore. And that seemed to be more powerful than anything else.
He really seemed to be inaccessible to us for quite some period of time. And he would disappear into a place where he felt terrified by everything that was going on around him and really in immediate fear of his life.
Η ψυχωτική του κρίση ήταν ακόμα χειρότερη. Ο James ήταν σοβαρά άρρωστος για πάνω από 2 μήνες. Είναι σύνηθες κάτι τέτοιο στην κλινική?
Young people who may have used cannabis at very high levels in the past only need to be exposed to relatively small amounts to develop symptoms again. So in some ways they are exquisitely sensitive to the effects of cannabis.
So you have to issue a very strong message once you've had a psychotic episode. Don't smoke.
For the young people here, there's really no question about that. It is a complete no-no.
Ο καθηγητής Μάρεϊ πιστεύει πως κάθε υποτροπή κάνει την επόμενη ακόμη πιο πιθανή.
Many people who develop psychosis would normally recover, but the people who develop psychosis recover and then go down the road and meet their dealer and start smoking again. They come back into the unit. We treat them, they get better, they go out, they come back in. So our wards are now full of people who are recycling through them because they're dependent on cannabis and they don't give up. In South London, where I work, the frequency of schizophrenia has doubled since the 1960s. And I think drug consumption is one factor.
Ο Στιβ Χάμοντ είναι σχιζοφρενής. Η σχιζοφρένεια είναι η σοβαρότερη μακροχρόνια μορφή ψύχωσης. Ο Στιβ άρχισε να καπνίζει κάνναβη όταν ήταν περίπου 16, τώρα είναι 27. Ο πατέρας του υποστηρίζει πως ο Στιβ γνώριζε πως η κάνναβη και η ασθένειά του σχετίζονται.
He said he was heavily smoking. He was smoking 5 or 6 a night. What he tells me now is that when he took it, he said it was actually like switching a light on. He said he instantly felt psychotic. He said, I only need to take a couple of puffs. He said, and it was like putting a light on.